Good morning, Facebook. Welcome to Morning Motivation with Dr. K, where my number one goal is to give you a positive perspective. Happy Tuesday. So when thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, I remembered this quote that I had looked up several years ago. Good morning, Andrea. And I made hey Shanna, I went to like a paint and palette and made this thing about it. Good morning, Danny. And the quote was, set a goal that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. And I thought about that this morning. Hey, Eddie, because my kids like wake up every morning like they're attached to a battery. Like I can hear them running down the hall and like giggling and being like, ha ha ha, ha. And I'm like, ah. But at the same time, it's a perspective, right? Good morning, Lacey. Good morning, Mark. And I was just thinking about that this morning, like what I wouldn't give to be them and to be so excited about life. And you know what they're excited about? They're excited about playing with their friends, about jumping on the trampoline, about riding their bikes. And I can guarantee you when school is in session, they didn't jump out of bed like that. They're just excited about like everything in life. And I'm also challenged by something that I read this weekend about how so many of us are so afraid of failure that we don't even try. And so we don't set ourselves up in situations where we could fail, which means that we don't take any risks, which means there's not really a great reward, right? And so I think that part of like the secret sauce to like being able to set a goal to make you want to jump out of bed in the morning is to be willing to fail and to think about some of your dreams and your ambitions and go for it, even in a COVID world where there's a lot of uncertainty. And so as adults, I would just ask ourselves, when was the last time that we tried something new? When was the last time we thought about what our dreams were and got crystal clear on how to make those happen? When was the last time we tried something knowing that we could fail, but that it was worth it? I feel like you could get through your entire life playing small and safe, and it would be comfortable, but it wouldn't make you want to jump out of bed in the morning. I just think that that's just the thought of having something that I want to jump out of bed in the morning for gets me excited. And how cool would it be if that was every day? Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Lacey. So I don't know. I think about how, like, when I am about to go on a vacation, get divorced. What? I think about like how when I went to go on vacation, or like I'm about to go on a vacation, like I can't sleep the night before, but in a good way. Like I'm so excited about what is to come that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so cool. And, oh, you did. Okay, Mark, got your real estate license. That's awesome. What now? What's next? You haven't plateaued. You're still alive, which means you still have more to accomplish and more to conquer. So what's next? So that's kind of how I felt too, Mark, is that once I got my medical license and I was an attending physician, I was like, okay, I did all the things. Now what? But there's more. There's more to life. So once you reach one goal, that just leaves some space to dream for more goals and bigger things. Don't stop dreaming. If you're still alive, if you still wake up with breath in your lungs, it means there's still more for you to do. So I think I just got tangential on y'all. I don't even remember what I was talking about, but something about vacation. I know it's like last week I was supposed to be in Bora Bora with my mom, which would have been a good time, but I understand that God's timing is better than my own. And so just looking forward to the next time I get to go on a vacation, which at this point I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be, but we shall see. So when was the last time you guys checked in with yourself? Do you guys have like a vision board, like a collage of things that you want for your life? Have you sat down and let yourself dream? Let yourself think of all the things that would really light you up and get you excited? Good morning, Mohammed. Good morning, Heather. So if you have not, hello from France. Bonjour. Pauline. Hello, Terry. It's okay, Mark. It wasn't meant to be. But I just want to challenge you guys when the last time was that you sat down and let yourself dream. and let yourself think about all the things that you got excited about when you were little, and all the plans that you guys had. You know, like little kids are like, I want to grow up and be a firefighter. And then they grow up and they're like, oh, they've got a 9-to-5. Well, guess what? A lot of communities have volunteer firefighters. When I grow up, I want to be a musician. Well, even if you're not like Lady Gaga, you can still be a musician, right? And so many of us are so afraid to fail, and we get too dignified as adults, where it's like there's so much more on the line. We're so much more afraid to like look stupid, or we're afraid of what people are going to think or say. Like if our friends or family found out, or God forbid you posted on Facebook that like, I'm going to be a singer, and people go, well, that's fine when you're 5, but when you're 35, you've got responsibilities to think about. And it's like, you know what, guys, we're too dignified. We need to like get out of our own heads and get out of our own way, and remember that those desires that were placed on our heart were there for a reason. And until you're living out the fullest version of yourself, you're doing a disservice to yourself and the rest of the world. Mark, go learn guitar. That's what I did last summer. I was like, I need to learn guitar. So I went and learned guitar, and once I could play one song, I quit. but I felt like that was what I wanted to do, and that's where I was. So anyway, and sometimes it's hard if you haven't checked in with yourself in a while and haven't asked yourself, like, what do I want? Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you're like, oh, I haven't thought about this in a while. But allow yourself to dream, and allow yourself to think about the possibilities. And something that can kind of help that they do in life coaching school in December is to set an impossible goal, because sometimes our egos get so tripped up by being like, that's not possible. So if you let that go and say, all right, what are my impossible dreams? And it's like, okay, then the ego is not going to stand in your way and be like, well, that's not very practical. Well, forget practical. Who cares? I mean, do you think anybody who ever did anything awesome with their life sat around asking what was practical? Come on. So I would just challenge you guys, if you get held up on not being able to think about what your dreams are, go ahead and trick your ego and say, well, these are my impossible dreams. Like in a perfect world where I had all the time and all the money and all the resources, this would be my dream. Write them down. And then maybe your ego won't get super tripped, and you can maybe look at it through a different lens and see where you could start, and allow yourself to start dreaming and living life. Like wake up, right? Like we're meant for more than a 9-to-5. Andrea says, nursing school is so scary at my age. Girl, I have been so proud of you. You are an achiever, and you are determined, and you are so inspiring. I am so inspired by you. Good morning, Annette. Good morning, Alicia. And thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Amelia Earhart. What does that have to do with singing? I don't really have any ambition to like be a pilot, so no. Anyway, friends, so again, this was all like started with me thinking about the quote, set a goal that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. And the fact that my littles, like every single morning at like 6 a.m., they're like, I can hear them giggling and running down the hall, and they're like, good morning, it's morning. It's like, I don't know, it's a combination between like Beauty and the Beast, like, there goes the baker with his tray like always. They're like so ready for it. And like Anna from Frozen, like, do you want to build a snowman? And I'm like, okay, let me just get my coffee first. Alicia, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Like, they just have this zest for life, and it would just be so amazing if we could carry that and continue that, you know, and continue to dream and build and be excited about life. So I would ask you to put fear and hesitation on the side. You're not even committing to anything. Just show up on a piece of paper and say, if I could do anything I wanted with my life, what would that look like? And allow yourself to dream like your 13-year-old self did, right? And stop standing in your own way. Life is meant to be lived, guys. Mark says, oh, fearless like America. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. Or Taylor Swift, one or the other. I know, I wish I had their energy too. I very distinctly remember like being a teenager and like babysitting. And I remember like all of the sudden, one time like it hit me when I was literally like a teenager. I was like, oh no, I don't have the same energy I had when I was 7. And it like bothered me then. And I'm like, girlfriend, whew. It just keeps getting worse. Oh my goodness. I went and jumped on the trampoline with my kids for like 5 minutes last week, and I was just exhausted. And I was like, how do they go out there for hours? Or like kids that spend the entire day in a swimming pool, like I would be floating and they're like swimming the entire time. God bless. Woo. Anyway, good morning, Chance. So guys, set a goal that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. It's possible at any age or stage of life if you let it be. And if you're not, it's because you're too dignified. All right, friends, I hope y'all have a fabulous Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. Bye. Love y'all.